You never want to train your model on test data. Training on test data leads to overestimated accuracy, poor generalization, and broken trust in your model's performance. Imagine studying for a test with a copy of the actual exam. You can ace the test, but not because you understand the material, as the moment you're given a new version of the test, you would struggle. And that's exactly what happens when you let your model train on test data. So before we dive into why, let's just quickly clarify the roles. So you have training data, which is used to teach the model, so the model learns patterns from this data. Then you have validation data, which is optional and used during development. And then we have our test data, which is held back until the end to evaluate the true performance. And so what happens if we test on, or if we train on test data? Well, essentially the model sees the answers ahead of time. It can memorize the data instead of learning general patterns. It could appear to perform well during evaluation, and then fail in the real world where the data is new and unpredictable. And so overall, what this leads to is something called overfitting. So now, essentially your model performs great on seen data, but poorly on new inputs. So let me just give you an example in some code, and kind of like some pseudo level code, because none of it really works, where essentially what we do here is say we just have a load data function, and we fit it into our model, so we include everything, and then we check for the accuracy. The accuracy that's returned would be very misleading and very high. Instead, what we should do is split the data into training and test. So for our features, we have our training and our test, and then for what we're trying to determine, we have also the train and the test. And we can see we can easily split that with Python libraries, and then we would train it on the training set, and then test on the unseen data. So basically, generalization is the goal. So machine learning isn't about getting high scores on known data, it's about building models that can generalize to new and unseen situations. I want to thank you for liking and subscribing. Check out my software and courses in the description, and take it easy.